She joins us now on the line from the mother city. Good afternoon, Mariska. This is a trial that riveted not only our nation, but also generated a whole lot of global interest, mainly due to its sheer brutality that was unleashed by a son of such an affluent family. Take us through some of what the judge had to say this morning. He did use words like cold-blooded, uncontrolled violence and so on.
Exactly, you are exactly right. As you say, there's huge media interest. Just for interest's sake, in the mornings when we arrived at court, the court opens at 9 o'clock and we had to scuffle and push our way through to find a spot in court just to set up our cameras as well, because there was so much interest in this. But yes, as you've said, Judge Desai, calling it a cold-blooded murder. He said the violence was gratuitous. And it seemed almost as if Judge Desai himself was shocked that there was no apparent reason. He said throughout his sentencing procedures today, he said it over and over again, there was no reason given for these attacks because Henri van Breda maintains his innocence. And I think that is also why this has caused such an interest, is that there is no apparent reason for these attacks and that the person at the center of this maintains their innocence.
Mariska, all through this trial, we've watched those pictures come out of the courtroom. We've seen a very stoic, aloof Van Breda, devoid of emotion even. What was his composure like on this crucial day in the courtroom after the sentencing and he was being led away? And just remind us, if you can, of the psychiatric evaluations that came through during this trial on Van Breda's state of mental health.
Yes. Well, the word that pops into your mind when you think of Henri van Breda in court is stoic. No emotion, no glimmer of emotion at all. We saw him when he came up from the cells in the morning for proceedings to start. He was looking around to find his girlfriend, and he made eye contact with her, and there was the slightest of smiles on his face when he turned around to sit down to face the judge. But other than that, absolutely nothing. All of us kept peeking at him while we were making notes to see if there was any emotion, while the judge was saying things like cold-blooded, gratuitous, meticulous, premeditated. Absolutely no emotion whatsoever, not even a flickering. And of course, that report that was handed in, he was seeing a social worker, and the social worker said in the report that he showed a proper emotion when he discussed the issue of the death of his family. But Judge Desai said, the state said in sentencing procedures that he showed no sympathy for his sister, who lost her entire family. And although she cannot remember what happened that night, she has to live with the knowledge that her brother killed her entire family, and he also attempted to murder her. So it seems as if Van Breda was focused only on himself, or at least that is the message that the state was trying to bring across. But other than that, as you said, stoic, no emotion. It was almost, as your expert said that you spoke to earlier, it was chilling to watch this in court, because the court found that he was the person who committed these murders. And the NPA also telling us later that he has not admitted, probably to himself or to anyone else, that he committed these crimes, and he maintains his innocence. Even when Judge Desai on Tuesday asked the defense, give me one compelling reason to show mercy, his defense advocate, Peter Botha, said that he maintains his innocence. And other than the fact that he was only 20 years old when the crimes were committed and that he has no previous convictions, according to instruction, there's nothing else we can add, because Henri van Breda maintains that he's innocent. So, it was quite interesting to be involved.
Mariska, we understand that Van Breda will be appealing this conviction and sentencing. Do we know when that application for leave to appeal will be heard?
Yes, we know. It's on the 27th of June. Judge Siraj Desai said it will be postponed until then. And then, of course, we will hear on what point they are going to appeal the judgment and sentencing on the 27th of June.
Mariska Botha, our senior reporter on the Van Breda murder trial, joining us on the line there from the mother city.